crew in the Discord, opening every pack till we get bored. Every round we add cards to the ban list, till Simo sends us a cease and desist. Well, another week, another episode of Progression Playoff, and God, I was so close in that last one. Gigaplant. Anyway, I begin this episode with some very bad news. For those of you who watched the 24-hour stream, you know that at about the 10-hour mark, my computer ran out of space. In order to continue recording the VOD, I freed up some space on my computer by cleaning out what I thought were a bunch of unusable files in my videos tab. It turns out that included the raw footage from this episode that you are currently watching. That's why it's a day late. And unfortunately, that means there's a lot that's going to be missing from this one. I'm not going to be able to show you the actual pulling of the individual cards. I'm not going to be able to walk you through everyone's thought process. Instead, we pulled up our DB replays and we're going to commentate over them. Now, I found it very entertaining and we all had a really good time, came back refreshed after a few-week break, and honestly made, in my opinion, a better episode than existed before. We were extremely sleep-deprived and not particularly funny. Of course, that doesn't change even with sleep. Anyway, we're here to talk about Light of Destruction. Now, this set changed everything. I mean, it changed some things. It's got two archetypes that you may recall: the extremely powerful, unbeatable Arcana Force and Lightsworn. Now, Lightsworn is a very powerful series of monsters that mill cards off the top of your deck during the end phase or to get effects. But while they were powerful in the progression series, that had a lot to do with the wheel rolls and very little to do with the individual pulls. It's hard to pull a good Lightsworn core because you need a lot of supers and ultras in order to make it something truly playable. Here, I don't think that's very likely. The other archetype, Arcana Force, relies on coin flips. It is maybe the worst archetype to ever exist, and likely we will not be playing any of the cards contained therein, including their Marshmelon, just because setting cards in defense position and giving your opponent infinite fodder with which to ram their gladiator beasts isn't particularly good. However, there's a bit of legacy support in this set that I think actually is going to make a huge impact on the format. I'll let you know when we get to it. So first, we've got Guardian of Order and Honest. Honest is a very powerful card, but inconstructed. Here, pulling it would be nice, but not fantastic. We've got Cross Porter, Miracle Flipper, a couple of Destiny Heroes, a Volcanic Queen, which is more of a kaiju than it is volcanic support. We've got the new Jinzo stuff, and then the Arcana Forces. The Fool can't be destroyed by battle. The Magician doubles its original attack the first turn that it's summoned. That's its upside. The Empress sometimes free specials Arcana Forces. The Emperor maybe is a 1900. The Lovers is sometimes 2 tributes for an Arcana Force monster, one of the only playable ones. The Chariot was played occasionally in Duel Links because of its interactions with a very specific skill, as was Temperance, which is just Karibo. The Moon is the payoff for Arcana Force, but it's one of the worst bosses of all time. The World can skip your opponent's turn and is the focus of a couple of combo decks in the TCG, and that's really all there is to speak of. In terms of the Lightsworns, there are some pretty good beaters like Jane Lightsworn Paladin, but the really stellar cards are stuff like Lila, which targets spells and traps and destroys them, or Raikou, which just destroys any card on the field. Unfortunately, those are at super or higher, as is Wolf, the payoff for this archetype, so a lot's going to have to go right if we're going to play a Lightsworn. Judgment Dragon is also a secret, so we can probably count that out as well. Now, Substitoad is in this set, but we don't have all the other frogs. We've got some of them, but I don't think we're going to be able to make it work. Here's the legacy support that actually will make a difference. Batteryman Charger, Batteryman Industrial Strength, and Batteryman Microcell read like custom cards. They are unbelievably strong. Microcell, when it's flipped, specials a Batteryman from your deck, then after it's flipped, when it is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, draws you a card. It's not often, they just give an archetype a +1. Batteryman Charger can summon a Batteryman from your deck when it is normal summoned and gets 300 for each Thunder-type monster you control, meaning it comes in at a 24, and Batteryman Industrial Strength can be special summoned by removing from play 2 Batterymen from the graveyard, then can banish a Thunder once per turn to pop a monster and a spell trap. Like a really, really strong Chaos Sorcerer that still gets to attack. This is definitely going to make a splash. We've got some legacy support for the aliens, for Goblin Attack Force. We've got Ducker Mobile Cannon, which Gage played on ironically for a while. Simorgh Bird of Ancestry, I think, is the only target for the Wind Effigy card that has snuck into lists because of its interactions with exactly Icarus Attack. We've got Destiny End Dragoon, Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, and the card that I'm hoping to pull, Gladiator Beast Geyserus. Now, this is a super, so it is realistic we could pull it. Gladiator Beast Bestiari and one additional Gladiator Beast. This is what put Gladiator Beast on the map. You shuffle the cards into the deck, it is a contact fusion, and then when it's summoned, you pop 2 cards. That's it. That's the entire card. It's unbelievably strong. Outside of that, we've got some garbage like Cup of Ace, Solar Recharge is very good, but an Ultra, and Short Circuit. This card can only be activated if you control 3 or more Battery Men monsters, but it turns out that's extremely easy via the flip effect of Microcell, the on-summon effect of Charger, etc. If you have 3, you get to pop all cards your opponent controls. This is a common. It is going to be game determinative for sure. And there's not a lot that can stop it, with the exception of one of the cards down here. I'm talking about Destruction Jammer. It's pretty much the only way we can make it happen. Limit Reverse is in this set as well, another way to get a 3rd Battery Man onto the field, as well as set up some pretty funny locks. And I think that is pretty much all that's worth making note of. We've got some really powerful cards down here at the rare slot and higher, but they're not particularly synergistic with anything we already have. So realistically, I think what is likely to make a splash from this set is going to be the Battery Men. The Gladiator Beasts will still, of course, be very strong, but outside of that, there's a lot of room for interpretation. It turns out you're allowed to play a slower, more methodical style of gameplay, provided your opponent is on Gladiator Beast and you have a win condition in Short Circuit in your pocket at all times. When you have a card like Industrial Strength that can pop Spartacus extremely easy, and realistically when you don't care too much about Mirmello because all of your individual monsters are terrible, they just replace themselves. I think we're going to see a lot of Battery Men this week. I think we're going to play it ourselves, provided we can pull more than one Industrial Strength, and I will see you in the deck build screen. Alright, so we didn't pull 2 Industrial Strength. Basically, we pulled 1 Industrial Strength, which is probably not enough to play Battery Men, but we also didn't pull a Geyserus, so we're playing Gladiator Beast with a Mirmello just because it's the best possible thing in our pool, but we don't have the really high roll payoffs that would push it to the next level. I'm not particularly happy with this list. I don't think we're going to go particularly far. I imagine we'll get knocked out in the first round by a Battery Man player, but I guess we'll have to see. We're playing 3 copies of Bestiari, 3 copies of Darius, 3 copies of Dimikari, 3 copies of Hoplimus, 2 copies of Laquari, Murmillo, 1 Spartacus, 3 Indomitable Fighter Lele. This card is actually still pretty good, despite the fact that people are going to play things that aren't Gladiator Beasts. 2 Test Ape, 3 copies of Archfiend Shield, 1 Battle Halberd, 3 Battle Manica, 1 Proving Ground, 2 Chthonian Blast. I ended up cutting one because it's just such a bad card. A Defensive Tactics, a double tag team. Still playing it, but again, not very impressed from its performance in Phantom Darkness. 2 Icarus Attack. I went back to 2 just because I think we're going to have to high roll a little bit if we're going to beat better decks. A Karma Cut, a no entry, and 3 Shield Spear. The extra is nothing to speak about. So, excited to be playing the deck that I know is very good, but not particularly excited in that we have left ourselves open for an Industrial Strength Short Circuit. See you in the games. Okay, so obviously this isn't ideal. I'll just give you the rundown of what happened. We recorded the entire episode. I won by a lot, by the way. And then Gavin hacked into my computer.
Plausible.
He erased all the files, like Julian Assange style. And he modified my dual records, you know, so here we are. So here's what's going to happen. We have the replays from the lost episode, but we aren't going to be able to give our insight in the moment. But believe me when I say you don't actually want it. We recorded that episode at like midnight, and we were all on like 20 minutes of sleep total. And we did not say a single funny joke. Anyone, for $1,000 in your bank account right now, name one joke that we made in that episode.
I got nothing.
Exactly.
It was like, end the episode now or I will kill the rest of you.
Wasn't there also like long periods of silence?
Yeah, just out like long stretches of just nothing. So trust me when I say we have saved you from one fate, but now you're going to experience another. This is our first match. It is Gavin versus Danny, and we're not even going to pretend like we're playing it. We're just going to kick back, you, me, Gavin, Danny, Brent, Leah, and we're just going to have a good time watching these games. How does that sound?
Sounds great to
Terrible.
me. I get to kick back, relax, and watch Gavin just play a great
Lose.
game with me. Whoa,
Yeah, we don't know what happens.
Yeah,
actually, we're watching this for the first time, like you, the viewer at home.
Yeah, we're not familiar exactly with how Gavin hacked the matches, so we don't.
So of course Gavin cheats with paper strap.
Very cowardly going
immediately.
for paper.
It was a huge coward move.
Danny didn't even get a chance to change his card back from what is the name of this tiger?
Fuck, I forgot.
Penis the tiger.
Oh my god. It's from
Anyway, here I
Madagascar
am.
3.
Here I am playing the game for the first time.
We're
Dull.
you probably have already heard this given my breakdown of the set. But Battery Man is crazy. And the only one of us, I think, who was smart enough to both figure it out in advance and put the deck together in a short enough period of time is Gavin. And you are going to see why this deck is crazy right here. Battery Man Microcell is the craziest card in the deck. Lets you special a Battery Man monster from your deck, and then after it's flipped face up and destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you draw a card. So it summons one from deck and draws you a card as a flip effect. It's just crazy.
It seemed really cool, but when I was playing, I had very little time to build this deck. So, but for what it's worth, I also pulled 0 of this guy who comes up, the 1900 defense monster, who I think is pretty vital in the deck.
This is the unfortunate part. The Battery Men are really good because there's like a critical mass of them, but there's only really 2 good ones. And the rest you have to play because they have Battery Man in their name and they're Thunder, and there's not really other Thunder monsters. But, yeah.
I would say there's like 4 good ones, and Battery Man D is like perfectly fine.
What would you say the 4 good ones are, Leah?
I would say Microcell, Charger, AA, and Industrial Strength are all good. AA is actually surprisingly good.
I would disagree on AA, but the other 3 are pretty good. Charger's the 5.
Charger, the tribute.
The tribute one, yeah.
The Monarch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about the Battery Men is I think every 4 sets, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Designers pull in the one guy who remembers how to actually design playable cards, and that's how these Battery Men got made this one.
Right.
Like, reading Microcell is like, you have to keep in mind, this is in the same era of Yu-Gi-Oh! That gave us hits like Jerry Beans Man.
Exactly.
So, you know.
I mean, like, you look at a card like Battery Man D, you look at a card like Battery Man C, and then you look at a card like Battery Man Microcell, and you go, these came from 2 very different brains, you know?
Yeah, Microcell came from someone called Battery Man Micro Incel.
Whoa! Should have said that during the first.
Yeah, save it for the past video.
We've had a week to refine these jokes, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the Battery Man Sigma hierarchy. Like the D is like the betas of the Battery Man universe. The A is the alphas.
Now, you might be wondering, why did Gavin flip summon this 100 monster? And here comes the card that is absolutely going to wreck me.
Circuit.
So Short Circuit. Oh,
I forgot that Danny counted it.
Oh, Destruction Jammer. So Short Circuit just reads, blow up your opponent's entire field if you have 3 Battery Men.
Everything.
Cards,
all of the monsters, all of the spells and traps. Crazy.
Cards are so bad at this point in Yu-Gi-Oh! That is actually trivial to do. As you just saw, set a Microcell pass is 2/3 of the way there, and Battery Man D has a big enough butt that he's usually the 3rd one. I actually didn't pull any Destruction Jammer, and I only pulled 1 Industrial Strength, so I was simultaneously like, I probably can't play Battery Man, and I am losing to Battery Man every single time. I just don't have the out to Short Circuit.
That was me.
Well,
yeah.
And here we are, buddy.
Yeah, well, I make some cool plays here.
Yeah, what do you do?
I summon an 1800 beater.
Whoa, these
another
plays are
1900
so cool.
beater, sorry.
Holy, oh no, wait.
So-
That play
so
was a little
here's the
too
thing.
cool. We got to take it back.
Here's
Oh, I
I
Yo,
switched to the window.
what a cool play! So wait, hold up. I actually saw many of you playing Wind Effigy both this week and last week. Why? Why were you doing that?
It's a winged beast.
It's just
It's a
for
winged
Icarus
beast.
attack?
It's just for
It's
Icarus.
just a winged beast.
Sheesh. This is, by the
I'm
way,
trying to
the
do
most
it with
play.
Simorg.
This is the most play this card has or will ever see as the second best winged beast in the Progression Playoffs Season 2 episodes. It's never been used for its express purpose because there's no targets that exist. But here it is fulfilling an important purpose.
What about Apex Avian?
Oh, buddy, I urge you to read Wind Effigy a little more closer.
Oh, no.
It is 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a normal.
Holy-
Now, well, hold up. I want you to guess, Gavin, as someone who doesn't know inherently, how many normal wind monsters exist in Yu-Gi-Oh?
Is there one?
There are 0.
All right,
There are
that's awesome.
0.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Almost a
Holy-
decade after the print of Wind Effigy, they printed a card, a Simorg monster, that is a 2 tribute wind monster that counts as a normal in the hand explicitly so you could use Wind Effigy. It's so fucking funny.
Man.
Incredible. Charger coming down here. Charger
as
is
you can
This
see,
is the boy.
insane.
This is the boy.
Gavin's absolutely trouncing me with Charger. Charger just a broken card.
Charger is an insanely good card.
Oh, yeah.
Tribute summon a guy, pull out any battery man from your deck. Makes it trivially easy to make 2 battery men AA with any of the revive spells, and then all of a sudden it's a 2k beater.
You all
Or a
know
3k beater.
You all know how powerful 2400 attack monsters were for so long in Season 2. This guy's 24 from the get, and he only gets up from there.
Immediately. Yeah. Very, very good card.
So the only thing is, I had a pretty good game plan, but there were 2 things that stopped me. So here I have to counter this stupid limit reverse because it just means certain death for me.
Of course.
So I have to parry it, which is I love parry, even though it's not the best card.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
And it's also
But-
a decent way to get like a Spartacus that you accidentally drew back into the deck, you know.
Drawing
Yes.
Spartacus sucks ass, I
It's
have
so
to say.
bad. That's why I cut Alexander. It's just so fucking bad to draw.
You know what I have to say? Parry is one of those cards that the first time you read it, you don't really read it correctly, and you go, this card's crazy.
Yep.
And then you read it a second time and you go, oh, this card sucks ass.
Yeah.
Well,
it's decent still, but yeah.
I think the card would be pretty good if Batterymen didn't generate so much value out of their cards.
Yep.
Like
Well,
drawing and consistently getting your cards back with like the
It's
battery chargers
microcell,
and,
yeah.
and this
And
and,
here-
the banishing
here
and
it is.
specialing
So,
the guy himself.
this is dad. I don't
This is
know
dad,
how
yeah.
Simo and Nim Nim missed this because it seems like a huge oversight. But Battery Man Industrial Strength is just straight up Dark Arm Dragon. You
He's
have
a
to
little
remove-
bit better than Dark Arm Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to
Yes.
remove 2 Battery Men from your graveyard, which is again trivial in a world where you can play Microcell. And then once per turn, you can remove a Thunder type to destroy 1 monster and 1 spell trap. Now that's a little bit of a downside in some scenarios because if you're in a position like Danny, you're trying to pop a monster, but you're the only one with a spell trap, and you do need a spell trap to fulfill the activation condition. So Gavin actually just ends up not doing it. But it turns out a 2600 guy with an effect like that is just game winning on its own.
For free? Crazy. Yeah.
Now I had one last shot here.
All right, what do you
I
got?
have one last shot. I did pull Geyserus, and
Oh
if
my
I
God,
had
you
drawn-
did?
Yeah, and
Oh,
if I
that's
had
going to be
drawn a Glad
crazy in the
Beast
unban
here-
one.
Maybe. If I had drawn a Glad Beast at the end, see, Gavin's just insane value with
Yeah.
this. Just
Yeah.
like it's crazy. But if I had drawn Geyserus, I could have maybe been in this game. Or sorry, Bestiari. If I'd drawn
Bestiari,
Bestiari this turn, or any
Hoplo-
Glad
is this
Beast,
a
honestly.
Hoplo? Is this
Yeah,
a
Hoplo is
face
set.
down?
Hoplo is
so
set.
you could just go into geysers. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Hoplo,
exactly.
unfortunately,
So-
doesn't line up well against either of these assholes.
Yeah.
I could have attacked with any of the Glad Beasts into the set card, gone into Geyserus, and then gone from
Oh,
there.
I see what you
and-
mean.
Exactly.
Because like
was-
any Glad Beast gets you Bestiari.
Right. So I get Bestiari, but I drew nothing. I blanked.
Well, Brent, it's time for game 2. Do you have a bit prepared?
I want you to say Amogus backwards.
Okay. Let me just look down at my shirt here. Noma? Is it Noma?
I don't think he's washed that shirt since he bought it.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
And he's just been wearing it. It's like his skin
Every
now.
day.
Wait.
It's every day, bro.
Did you think that was a shirt?
Wow.
I got a permanent tattoo of the sus Big Chungus imposter. Me and Nigel Farage got matching tattoos of the sus Big Chungus imposter. Brent very cowardly picks rock into my scissors. A very
Oh yeah, because
Sigma male move.
this was the you actually didn't go with paper strat.
No,
and
I
you
was
and
rolling the
rolled.
die.
I
Yeah.
love that this week Joe picked the Doomer sleeves after the only week where he won games, being the previous
it
one.
was I remember he picked the Doomer sleeves because we were so sleep deprived.
Yeah.
And we were just like, fuck, another recording.
Hey,
Brent, I am so happy you brought this deck. So I was
God,
afraid
yeah,
it was
this
going to
deck is
be
so cool.
I was afraid it was going to be Batterymen Mirrors all night. And I was afraid it was going to be, if we weren't playing Batteryman, we were playing the Gladiator Beast deck that we're all sick of. For those of you unaware, Brent has just had a deck that beats both of those for months. But it's pretty high roll. So depending on some coin flips, sometimes he does not come out ahead. This is a coin flip that he
Is this
actually
Vanity's
won.
ruler? Oh my
Vanity's
fucking
ruler
God.
pass,
Yeah,
baby.
Manny's ruler comes
So
down.
this is a funny little interaction that I don't think we've ever paid attention to before, but I was thinking to myself, wait a second, you can't summon Vanity's ruler with Mausoleum because he says he can't be special.
Yes.
Mausoleum says you normal to summon the monster.
Very
so
silly.
frustrating.
Very
That
silly.
would suck if
I
it's
can't
special.
believe my favorite part about
Maybe
Mausoleum is
broken.
that this is an effect that activates.
Yeah.
It's just boggles my mind.
Ah,
What do
So-
you mean?
Like the fact that you can pay. There's many worlds where you pay the life points and then it gets popped and you just get punished for it.
Yeah.
Oh, as opposed to just like being
yeah.
becoming a game rule or something.
There's actually a significant amount of cards that do something like that at this point. Stuff like True Draco Heritage, for instance. If you negate its effect, the normal summon doesn't happen or something. And because it's worded so as it says, immediately after this effect resolves, you can solemn the summon of the monster that's being summoned. Just a very screwy card in terms of rulings. Speaking of screwy, I am losing this game. I do have
Yeah.
defensive tactics, which is something. But all it is here is Waboku, unfortunately.
This is really when Vanity's ruler is just an absolute fuck here.
This
like-
is
Brent is
when
also
Vanity's
a
ruler
Batteryman.
became Heisenberg.
Brent's
Why- I'm-
on the Duracell boys, by the way.
Yeah. The
He
big-
is.
the
I'm
big
pretty
butts.
sure he just karma cutted the Hoplimus as BM there. Either that or
Yeah.
he forgot that Vanity's ruler can't let Hoplimus activate.
Maybe it was like
let's go with it was I'm gonna say BM so I can not look like an idiot.
Brent, I gotta tell you, we are affording everyone a lot of leeway this episode because we get to pretend like every single play we made was exactly perfect, including this one that I make. I'm going to attack your set card, which is Batteryman Bees
Fungus.
Nuts.
Nice.
It's Duracell. That's what the D stands
All right, are you
for.
ready? Here's the best play of the game. Play of the
It's
game.
a D battery. You
That
fuck.
was 2 shield spear.
Not
Show me 2 shield
Duracell.
spear.
Duracell's a brand.
Wait, is that what happens?
Yeah, I remember this.
And then in main phase 2, he's like, all right, eat my ass. It's time for another mausoleum. I'm paying another 1,000 vanity speed. I was so happy. I was like,
Incredible.
I did it. I made it.
You
We
see-
get to
Did
play
you
the
see
game.
how fast Brett played that turn? Like,
It's like,
yeah, who cares?
Brett, this is the chattiest deck of all time. I can't believe
This
it.
deck is really
Awesome.
good. This deck
So
is really,
awesome.
really
Double
good.
A
And
here.
it's Batteryman also. It's so cool.
We take 9 million. I have like the fiends and I have the mausoleums and everything too, but I think Brent's this is what frustrates me. Even in GX, when everyone is complaining, they're like, your decks are all too samey and it's too clear what the best cards are. I don't think that's true. Like, we all have significant parts of Brent's deck and no one got it but him. Props to you for exploring, and it's paying off pretty massively here.
Yeah, and I just want to follow up with that, Joe, too. We had some people talking in like recent episodes about this, and I just could not disagree with the opinion more that our decks are too similar. Even during Glad Beasts, we've seen people not running Glad Beasts or running different things because it's just for reasons.
Well, some morons simply did not pull Murmello, which was a rookie mistake here. So shockingly, I have gotten back into this game with the Karma Cut. Now I can eat the Battery Man D. We'll go into Murmello. We'll clear the board here. I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
This was actually looking kind of good, man.
However, I vocalized this turn. I go, wait a minute. I have put 2 Battery Men in the graveyard. I sure hope that Brent doesn't banish those 2 Battery Men. And there he is! The big friend! I hate this fucking card!
Yeah. This was a classic Joe complains the whole match and then starts to win and then gets to complain anyway.
Yeah.
Because the industrial strength comes in.
But this was such a cool game. There was a ton of back and forth. I don't think it was ever really clear who was going to win until the industrial strength came down. Like, I was really happy about this one for sure.
Yeah, this was a good one.
That's not what happened at all.
That's not what you said at the time.
And I was gracious in defeat. I was gracious in defeat. And I was based, and I was red-pilled, and Chargers coming down for double A.
Oh my gosh, Brent is just styling on you at that point.
Joe's first words after that match was over were actually, the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. They have been greatly increased the life expectancy of those of us.
All right, everybody. We just had a 10-minute conversation about the Unabomber, and now it's time for Game 3.
You just like to annoy me. You straight up, you're like, yes, this will annoy the shit out of him.
All right. This is Leah versus Gavin, and whoever wins this game,
faces Brent in the finals.
Yeah, whoever wins this game gets to choose the mode of violent revolution in America. Gavin, for those of you who are unfamiliar, is a recently converted eco-fash.
I just hate the Industrial Revolution and thought it was a crime.
Join the fucking club, buddy. And then Leah, as we all know, is I don't know. What are you, Leah? Leah's a gamer. Leah's a gamer.
Yeah. Pro gamer.
Very centrist answer.
Her post-revolution. Her post-revolution plans are to install one of those like chairs with the pillow on the back in every single person's house.
Leah's definitely a transhumanist anarchist. Sorry.
Is that Rin? Rin, what the fuck are you doing in here?
Get out of here!
Oh, I gotta start thinking of Maya. No.
All right, so Gavin's playing Battery Men. Leah is playing, I don't know, Battery Them.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Starting off with the bangers.
Nice. Made me smile. Made me happy.
Yeah. All right, so what are you playing,
It
Leah?
did?
Walk us through your deck.
Not at all.
I want you to take 2 guesses what this set card is.
I'm gonna guess it's a Holplomus. Failing that, I think it's a set copy of Indomitable Fighter Lele.
That would be a good mind
set
game.
Lele.
We're dueling in slow motion here.
Oh.
Boom. It's the
Battery
microcell.
Man.
It's the Battery Man
So
mirror.
she found Battery Man too. Big surprise.
Microcell is the trans flag colors. You expect me to not be playing it?
Oh, it is. It's every single color of the trans flag. Yellow, brown. It looks like is in there. We've got red, green,
yellow. The eyes.
Anyway, here's 3 Battery Men.
Here's Leah,
and there it is.
Fuck off.
What a fun game! Flip Battery Man Microcell into 3 Battery Men. Gee, I wonder what the next play is. Not die to short circuit from Gavin.
So and here we see Gavin try to force Blaze Accelerator again.
Jeez, wait, were you really playing? You were playing Accelerator and Wildfire, right?
Yeah, the idea was that the Battery Men is such a control deck that the game will slow down long enough that you will see, and you have draw power from the microcell, so you can see like 20 cards in, and so you will probably see Blaze Accelerator and Wildfire, which as the control deck with a Chaos Sorcerer
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Clearing the board is enough.
Not a bad theory. Not a
No,
bad theory.
I don't
And
hate it, and it's actually pretty impressive that no one has like resolved Wildfire yet. Because like when you think about how important and determinative Grand Convergence was to these games, and how unimportant its comparable, comrade in Wildfire has been, it's just kind of baffling.
it's not even like Blaze Accelerator is bad too.
Yeah.
Like the reason why Grand Convergence was so playable was because you wanted to be playing macro anyway. But like you can make Blaze Accelerator good. Gavin, you have 3 shells, right, Gavin? Or
Gavin
do you
has
have 2?
2 shells.
I only have 2.
Oh,
It was
that's
it's certainly
sad.
helpful that Macro Cosmos stays on the board and enables other synergies.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so what was the purpose of limit reversing the microcell? Can you give
I'm
us
assuming
a hint?
I'm assuming we're gonna make Charger here.
Yeah, that's
This is tribute fodder.
That's what's happening.
So we
Yep.
didn't really talk about Limit Reverse, but Limit Reverse
Yeah.
is actually like a crazy
It's just
Call
of the Haunted, yeah.
Limit
Yeah.
Reverse is
Oh.
insane.
You
It's
may
crazy.
remember Limit Reverse from some of the budget perfect circle decks that would play it as like a way to high roll with Disc Commander. You might remember it in like
Oh, jeez.
Watlock as a way to cheat an additional hopper on your side of the field. Limit Reverse is an oft overlooked card that has served a very specific purpose in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh as it exists, and oftentimes that purpose was I need a card out to make a really powerful monster like Charger.
I remember I used to play Limit Reverse all the time.
ahead, Danny.
Sorry, during Synchro era.
Yeah.
I would just
Yeah.
summon Quillbolt Hedgehog or whatever I needed, and you'd get, I don't know, like Stardust or Goyo. That was it.
Danny's right. Limit Reverse made the cut in a lot of plant synchro decks.
Was Koth banned at the time, or
It
was
was
it
a
just that
one.
you just wanted
Yeah.
copies of Call of the Haunted, like 2 through 4?
Because really all you wanted to be special summoning was your Dandelion anyway.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Or I guess like your
Hmm.
Lone Fire, maybe, depending on how the game had gone so far.
Like everything. Everything was it was just call.
So no entry is extra funny with AA.
They all get 2K
And
defense,
Leah
So-
revealing
so-
she's also on a Gladiator Beast package.
which is correct. I think it's right.
It's just Battery Glad Beasts.
It's correct.
So far this week we've got what appears to be Batteryman Volcanic with Gavin. That's stretching what volcanic means. We've got Batteryman Glad Beasts from Leah. We've got Batteryman Mausoleum from Brent, and then we've got 2 shitters that don't know what's good losing in round 1. Is that correct? Yeah, we think we got that one right.
I want to talk for a moment about Light Swarms because in like Simo's progression, Light Swarms made a big splash, and I think it is kind of interesting that of Light Swarms and Batterymen, that Batterymen is the more clearly playable at common light archetype from this set. But the big issue with Light Swarms is they have a ton of amazing payoffs at like super, and even like they have multiple good ultra rares. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to play them in progression, unfortunately.
You just cannot play them.
like
Here comes
yeah,
the-
like
I would have
Jane
loved
is
to.
good.
But
Like
you
Jane is really good. but,
Jane's
yeah.
crazy, obviously JD's crazy, Honest is crazy, but like good luck. I
Well,
think that
yeah, 'cause-
progression it only went off in the way it did for a couple of episodes. First, let's not forget that Simo didn't have a ton of success with Lightsworn. But second,
Yeah.
it only went off in the way it did because Simo was able to snag a second wolf off of a wheel
Yeah.
spin, right?
And Wolf is super, right?
Super. It is
Yeah.
a super, and it is super critical. So industrial strength, just doing industrial strength shit here. I mean, just pop the A, pop the back row, seems okay. You know what I love? This card is Chaos Sorcerer, except it gets to attack. Isn't that silly?
That's crazy. Card's insane. Again, they got John Card Design to come in and design some cards, and they were like, "Damn, you can play this card?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's good."
Hey,
They were
by
like,
the
"Oh my
way,
gosh,
did
it's a
you all
novel
know?
concept."
I don't know how many of you followed competitive Yu-Gi-Oh during like 2015, but did you all know that during the 2015 format, when Burning Abyss was at arguably full power, Beatrice hadn't been released yet, at Worlds, a Batteryman Duelist beat the best deck. A deck that no one was prepared for,
Awesome.
packing 3 Monarch Stormforth, 3 Batteryman Charger, OTK'd 2 games in a row. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
I can't think of any clearer expression of the Industrial Revolution triumphing over feudalism than Batterymen defeating Burning Abyss. Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss.
Send me your
That's
address. I'm
great.
coming to hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack you right now.
Murmillo was an answer here with Manica.
Mm.
Manica's so good.
Manica,
Crazy
more like Womanica. I mean, this card... some people correctly...
That was a good one.
Some people
all right.
correctly pointed out, they were like, I think you all just skipped over Arcana Force 0, which is just a monster that can't be destroyed by battle. But for our
what?
purposes, it's not better than 1, any of
Wait,
the
wait,
Gladiator
wait.
Beasts because of Battle Manica, and 2, it means the Gladiator Beasts get to proc at any time.
Wait, there's a Arcana Force that can't be destroyed by battle. Isn't that only if... I mean, it has the same problem as the Cloudians, which nobody played the Cloudians because any Glad Beast can run into them. But also, don't you have to win a coin flip for that?
No. So the Arcana Force monsters coin flip when they're normal summoned, but if you set them, they don't. And both effects of the Fool, or the Fool can't be destroyed by battle as a condition on the card. It's just a static effect. And then the coin flip is who controls it, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's not terrible. And in a different era, that would be good. But if not specifically for the existence of Gladiator Beasts, which like to attack
And
into like Lele is a much better card at doing the don't attack me thing in this format than
And-
something like that.
for what it's worth,
Yeah.
even though we're like kind of out of Glad format, you could see at least Leah is still playing Glads as like Hoplimus for Spartacus, Laquari, Bestiari, Murmello. Like the svelte like 10-12 card engine that just means you have access to spell and trap and monster removal.
It's so splashable. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't,
It
you know,
is.
like it doesn't really take up that much deck space to just be playing them,
So the name
and
of the
they're
game
better
here
than almost anything else.
is
I'm using the power.
Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead.
I'm using the power of hindsight a little bit here, because of course I think what I was trying to do in the moment was just keep batteries off the field for like the possible short circuit. But if I would have just attacked the Laquari a few turns ago with Mr. Industry, I would have been in a much better position. I don't think I would have. I think Leah would have still been in a strong position, but I certainly would have been in a much better position if I would have killed the Laquari.
Well, you know, you can't rely on an ecologist to wield industrial society correctly. Like, I understand, dude. You don't have to justify yourself to me. You won the moral victory.
Could you imagine if I made Gazaris here? That'd be pretty good.
I'm actually shocked to
Yeah,
hear,
dang,
Danny, you
that'd
have
be crazy.
Gazaris, right?
I do.
But
I
you
do.
don't
I do
have
as well.
you don't have Mere Mellow.
I do not.
Gavin, do you have Mere Mellow?
I do not.
That's so funny. So the people with Mere
Discuss.
Mellow
Do you
did
play
not
Glad Beast
pull
still?
Geyserus, and the people without it did. You probably still play
Dang.
it for sure.
I think you do. Yeah.
And he's crazy.
I don't know.
It's a thing.
I don't want to reveal. I mean, we can. I'll reveal some information later, which will make it apparent why I didn't play Glance.
Okay, in the game here, I guess I'm going into whatever this set Battery Man is.
I
One of the
remember-
weird.
Sorry, go ahead, Leah.
No, it's okay. I don't want to talk over you.
I was just gonna say this.
So
took a
anyway,
while.
what's going?
Fuck you. God, everyone loves to annoy the absolute shit out of me. God.
No, sorry.
damn.
Go on. No, actually,
I
go
was,
on,
all I
actually.
was gonna say was this was a long, tough. This was a long game of
Yeah.
attrition because you were. I was like, oh, Leah's gonna win, but like, Gavin just kept setting these cards and just getting value, and I was like, how?
I feel
Well,
like
I'm way
if
ahead on the
Gavin-
board here, but Charger gives you so many cards.
Yeah, if Gavin ever finds Charger or ever finds Industrial Strength, it's just a completely different game. And I guess you got to prepare for that as best you can. Leah's keeping the field clean, but she has to do that or she dies to Short Circuit. And by doing that, you feed into Industrial Strength. It actually is kind of impressive. I hate to say this, given the context of GX, but how well designed the Battery Men are. right?
They really are, yeah.
Like, the big weakness of Battery Man is if you can't keep them on the field or swarm correctly, they never get off to the races. And the punish for doing so is exactly this, an industrial strength that just wins the game on its own.
Boing.
Do I have my one karma cut here? That would be nice. I don't think I do.
You're like, man, I hope I win.
Ooh, I'm sweating.
I am kind of disappointed in you, Leah. You didn't put the token on the Manica and then put the Manica somewhere else. Kind of sad about that,
Yeah,
honestly.
you need 2 tokens on the monster.
Exactly. Every monster that has an odd numbered token is equipped to every even numbered equip spell. People give me so much shit for that, and they were right to do so. They should have given me more shit. Security orb! This is an ultra rare.
Yeah, why pull the ultra light swarm when you could pull security orb?
This is like a worse no entry, but it is also a no entry. So you have to play it.
Worse no entry is perfectly good for me. I'll take it.
Some of you may recognize this card because it was playable for a period in Duel Links, but it's garbage. It is really fucking bad, but it's good enough.
I don't know if I top decked that Proving Ground or if I had been holding it. I think
how you top decked it.
I think I did. Okay. I think how you use Proving Ground is kind of sort of interesting. Not really.
Yeah.
This is a good discussion. Yeah.
Go.
Proving Grounds is a very interesting card. It's
I don't know.
When you play it, you get a Gladiator Beast, and then you can use that Gladiator Beast to attack.
All right.
Well, it was very funny to talk about Security Orb again because I remember during the game, Leo was explaining. It was like it's pretty good because even if it gets destroyed by Industrial Strength, like. You can pop a card, and we were all like, no, you got to read the card again.
It has to be popped by a spell trap.
And
I believe there are 0 cards in this format that do that.
Twister, baby.
Twister has to target a face-up spell trap.
Tornado. Brent's been playing Tornado for a couple of
does
times.
Short Circuit work?
Oh, it would. It would.
The thing that obliterates the whole board?
You would lose anyway, though. So
yeah, well, that's true.
I'm pretty far ahead on board here. What's crazy though is Gavin is holding 4 cards. How?
Still has cards in hand somehow.
It's gotta be Short Circuit.
I will say this game is so interesting. I'm looking at my hand right now in my own replay. I'm holding a Limit Reverse and a Short Circuit. And the last play that I made was set Battery Man D with an Industrial Strength on the field. If I had set the Limit Reverse at any point in that game to activate it, I may have been able to Short Circuit that turn instead. But I never really had an opportunity to because the threat of Bestiari always kept me off of it.
That is interesting.
God, I hate Glad Beast so much.
Bestiari's so oppressive, and I just grab Spartacus here finally.
It's so funny. We're at like this position in history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the gulf between the Glad Beasts we've been playing that have been this tier 0 super threat that just makes Spartacus and the Glad Beasts that were meta viable. It's a little different. It's just a little different.
My own hubris from not banning Bestiari when I could have.
I gave everyone a lot of shit that episode, and I maintain that Avarice was the wrong ban. But Gavin was right. Battery Men did power creep Glad Beast as a pure strategy.
Battery Man is at least
I'd have to drop Avarice.
I would say Battery Man is at least on even footing with Glad Beast.
Yeah.
At very least. It's probably better.
D specifically lines up so well against the stat lines.
Yeah. Radiant Mirror Force here, please.
Oh my god, I didn't play Radiant this week. I'm so stupid.
You have Radiant? I thought it was
oh my god, I tell myself every single week I'm going to play this card and I always forget.
That's a perfect card to play against Battery Man because they need 3 for the Short Circuit.
Well, they're going to Short Circuit before attacking.
They're just going to Short Circuit.
Well, what if they make a mistake?
Damn.
Oh, a little hasty.
Okay,
a little hasty,
So I think Gavin, didn't you say like Radiant Mirror Force was bad? And then I played you in one friendly with the Crystal Beasts decks that we made in paper, and I activated Radiant Mirror Force, and you went, "This card's great."
That is the way that happened. Yeah.
Oh,
how is this game still not over?
Yeah, I also cut
this one really took forever.
I also cut no entry from my list, and that was.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What did you cut it for? I'm surprised. No entry is really generically good, I think.
Probably the blaze accelerators and the wildfire.
Oh yeah, the blaze accelerators and the wildfires. I'm much more interested in clearing the board.
Wow, a strict upgrade. Yeah.
One thing that I really appreciate about the design of the
He
Gladiator
has 6
Beast
cards in his hand. He has 6
Yep.
cards in his hand.
Yep, here
is
we
that
go.
And
this-
they all do nothing.
They
That's
all
true.
do 0.
one thing I
Sorry,
appreciate
Joe,
is
go
that
on.
this bullshit, it doesn't happen during the damage step. Could you imagine?
Oh yeah,
Oh my
that'd be fun.
god.
I don't know
So
why
this
Gavin
can't
didn't
do
cycle the
anything.
limit reverse here for the industrial strength. That would have been funny. Wow, and Leah
Aw,
walks with
yeah.
it. We're in finals. Battery Man Gladiator Beast versus Battery Man Vanity's asshole. Yeah, and there's the hand. Just every Battery Man in the universe. Short circuit.
In
Blaze
the top
accelerator.
21, no wildfire in the top 21. I'm so tilted about that.
Okay, it's time for finals, but first, Danny has something to say.
Stupid me! I actually thought I was good enough for one.
Oh.
They're in the top 21.
You broke my board!
Did you see this cup?
Listen, to anyone watching, I know I've got some impressionable teens who watch my videos. First of all, you need to log off and like go, play outside and get laid.
Watch
I don't
a
know.
football.
Yeah, toss a football around, play some pigskin,
Eat some grass.
eat some grass.
Eat grass.
do some drugs. But you also need to get off TikTok. I saw that video and I went, TikTok was invented by the CIA after they found out that Gen Z is like the most radical generation next. They were like, we got to do something about this. Pull in the guy who talks about the cup and screams at the camera in black and white.
Yeah, for those who don't know, just to reference the video, it's somebody recorded their phone
Yeah.
and they're scrolling through this guy's TikTok. And this guy's TikTok is imagine
Imagine me when I lose.
No, yes. Imagine like My Chemical Romance back in like, I don't know, 2008 maybe. I'm forgetting the year. It's like that vibe, but this guy is screaming into his camera and he's screaming stuff like, I thought I was good enough. And it's I was telling Joe,
it looks
I
like
can't
he's
get through the
hurting
first 20
himself.
seconds.
I thought
Yeah,
they were
like,
lyrics
painful.
from like a metal song.
No,
I don't know.
He's just
This
really
is-
upset. That
We're
like,
really
that's-
making ourselves look like boomers in this one, by the way, T.
Listen, I'm a proud boomer. Part of hating industrial
Yeah.
strength and its future is hating the kids, and I do, baby.
Well, there's nothing boomer about wondering why the hell this man is just screaming just off the top of his lungs, because it's so funny because the person who's recording the video, they're scrolling through. It's endless, like every video.
I'm going to be frank with you, Danny. This is exactly what my parents sound like when they discuss hip hop. They're just
That's fine.
talking real fast. Why are they so
Okay.
famous?
No.
Really
You're gonna tell
glad-
me. You're gonna tell me that video is normal. Really?
No, I'm not.
Come
No,
on.
Really?
of course not.
Really glad to
Because I'm a
see
boomer.
no turn 1 mausoleum from Brent here.
Yeah.
Lele. Lele.
I would rather see Lele turn 1 every time than Vanity's Ruler.
Yep, that is true.
But this is the strength of Brent's deck. Brent only has to win 2 games to win the entire week, and it's kind of coin flippy if you draw like both halves of the mausoleum or not. Because if you look at his list at the very end, he's actually not on a ton of mausoleum targets. It's like 2 ruler, 1 fiend at this point.
Oh,
He's got some
I
cool
forgot
shit like
about this.
Crystal Seer to find it.
Wait, Brent, how long have you had Crystal Seer? Wasn't this card didn't this one come out a
Tactical
while
Evolution,
ago?
I think.
I wasn't playing it for specifically the Glad Beasts.
No, that's smart.
wow.
I think that's right.
Mm.
So you put it in because this was a more Battery Man week?
Yeah, I just wanted to put
Wow.
in good card.
And for what it's worth, Crystal
Fair.
Seer was a hit in Constructed, but I maintain one of the most overrated cards of all time. This card was $1 quadrillion, and everyone
This
was
is
like,
just,
"You haven't-"
Really?
Yeah.
It's just
I had no
Scalendral.
idea.
Isn't it just Alien Gray?
Well, no,
No,
because you
Excavating's much
filter one of
better.
the cards, so you see. 2.
I mean, no, I mean, listen, Preordain
Right.
is really good. Yeah, to be fair. Charger.
Oh.
Oh,
Stupid
wait, I think I know-
me! I thought
I
I
think I
wasn't
know.
getting OTK'd.
Never mind. That video is great.
I think I know what I have set. I'm hyped. I'm excited.
Go me!
Go me!
Wow,
I
I'm so
opened
smart.
good cards.
Raikou!
Yep, the Raikou. Oh, this is a great game.
Leah, what's
I'm
it like to be a
remembering.
genius?
This is a good one.
I'm
This is a
remembering
good one.
Leah saying very specific words, and the words are "Please don't hate me," and I can't wait for a couple turns for that to be relevant.
Mills
Oh,
Lemire Mello.
we picked
Leah, why the fuck were
Disc
you playing
Blade.
Disc Blade Rider?
Disc Blade Rider's so good. Disc Blade Rider's so good.
I disagree.
No. Okay, ready? I'm on.
You could just play Jane.
I'm on 2 no entry, 1 security orb, the shield spears, and the Chthonian blast. Disc Blade Rider is it's a 2100.
It does not even beat fucking Indomitable Fighter Lele. Okay, when I saw this shit come down, I knew that Brent had to win or I was going to be upset.
This card's good.
So when Leah played this, we got in a fight.
It was awesome.
because she was like, this card's good. When your monster goes to the graveyard, it comes back. And we were like, Leah, you read the title of this card. You didn't even get to the text box. Like, that's not even close.
That's what happens during the end phase. If it was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon it to the graveyard on the side of the field. So they don't get a chance to attack it again. It comes back in the end phase, and you have it for your next main phase. That's so good. What is
Well,
Monster
let's
Reborn?
let's see how good it is during this.
Oh,
it's
shut up.
just Monster Reborn.
All
All right, Casey here. Not even Caseying the ribbon to monster. He says, "No, what the fuck do I care?
No, I don't care.
Oh, he's too afraid.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Brent,
was
can you
really
give us
horrified.
some insight to your mental state? Were you afraid of Ribbon of Rebirth AA?
Oh, I was petrified.
Oh,
This card,
shut
by the
up.
way, is double Call of the Haunted.
Oh, this card's
Oh my
crazy, by the way.
Fucking God.
Uh,
Wait, I should have been playing. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Are you ready?
Woo!
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Honest.
it does
First
nothing here.
honest.
So
First honest we've seen.
it does trade here. He takes 1,000, then we normal a AA, and then we short circuit. And guess what? Your monster has to be destroyed by battle for Ribbon of Rebirth to proc.
Okay, so listen. I pulled one short circuit. I only pulled.
Fair.
Here's the real secret. I pulled. Well.
Wait a minute! Hold up!
Security orb, baby. It's a big deal here,
Did
obviously.
we not? Oh, you did pop. Okay, good.
We just
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
it.
Oh no!
No,
Listen,
it's like, did
listen.
we
I
miss
was no, Danny. You don't understand how I was like. If Brent short circuits me, I'm gonna get to do security orb.
We're gonna get value.
She's like giggling over getting 9 for 1. Like,
Yeah, 9 for
woo, more like a 9 for 2. Okay, this motherfucker pulled 2 honest.
Oh, I forget I summoned the honest here. Yeah, so this is why I was saying please don't hate me. I pulled
Yep.
2 honest.
Please don't
And it's
hate
not
me.
even that good. Because I can't even play
It's
full
pretty
battery
bad.
man.
Bad
Because I
spirit monster.
only have 1 short circuit and I have no industrial
God
strength.
damn,
Like-
this card is crazy.
Honest is a sweet card, right? Like it can sometimes just win you the game. But it as a combat trick, like it is just kind of like a mini rush recklessly or like a shrink or something.
Right.
So the cool part about honest is like using it super offensively, where you're like,
God.
no, you're just gonna die.
Wow,
this turn.
pitching the
Oh my
industrial.
God,
Holy
dude.
shit. It was like, yeah, I was kind of hoping that you would actually get a head on board so I could summon industrial, but to each their own.
Oh, it's me. I'm back.
Okay, limit reverse
Ooh.
time. Here
You're
comes
never
double
gonna
A.
defeat my AA when I activate triple honest.
This was
Ooh.
cool. Very based. Unfortunately, it still does not beat Charger. And
Oh my
that's
gosh,
that's the end of the game.
I drew that destruction jammer like the turn after the short circuit
Yeah.
came down.
That one was not
Uh,
close. But wow, what a cool series of decks this week. They're really sweet.
Good, well played, Brent. GG's.
I've been short circuit.
Well, folks, I think we can all agree that industrial strength and its future was a devastating blow to the human race. Its consequences will ring throughout GX for the next exactly 1 week. Its consequences for now are a fat W to the boy, Brent Brent gang eating good this weekend. Brent, do you have anything to say to your thousands upon millions of fans?
I'm eating good because Jerry Beans man gives me all my protein.
Fantastic. And as a sign of goodwill, because of your win, I will be releasing Elemental Hero Neos early on good behavior. Your child is now free. So, this has been a fun season. I know that we don't have any bans this week. It would be me and Danny, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Danny, hypothetically, what would you ban?
Good question. If there were, it really does depend on how long the set would be. Because if, let's just say we'd go for another like 4 or 5 sets, it'd be bestiari 100%.
Yeah.
I'd want to end the reign of Glad Beasts, or at least their power level. So if you do play them, you can't just pop their board always. If it's let's say maybe like 1 more week, I guess I'd pick Brent's what's it called?
Mausoleum or
Banish.
something?
No.
Karma Cut.
Karma Cut. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of things that never got banned.
Well, real quick, I would for my ban. It's actually a super easy pick. I lost to the Battery Man deck. I only pulled 1 Industrial Strength. I didn't feel like I could play it. So the easy ban for me is the card that Danny played in week 4, Swing of Memories. Very But yeah, last time.
Hey, that was like week 8.
Go ahead. Make the joke. Make the joke.
Last time that we were here, and then lost the footage, we talked a little bit about cards that we were shocked made it through the entire format. So rather than just go, one by one, let's just sound off. Let's have a conversation. What busted shit made it out that was surprising?
Karma Cut.
Yeah, I mean, Karma Cut's the only good card.
For sure.
What made it through? No one banned Shield Spear.
This
Not
card is
saying
ass,
should've.
but it did feel bannable at some points.
Not that you should ban it, but it survived.
Aside from Bestiari, I think if there was ever a desire to completely kill Glad Beasts, I think the deck would continue to be playable as long as Murmillo was still legal.
Murmillo's a very interesting one too, because it puts Glad Beasts on the same footing for the dinguses that just didn't get Murmillo, right?
Yeah. And it's just kind of like a weird advantage engine, kind of.
Icarus survived. I forgot.
Icarus did survive, yeah. Wow,
We
that was a
never
crazy one.
never really got the Icarus attack day in the sun we wanted.
Yeah.
We hit a bunch of Icarus
targets. True.
That's true.
We did hit the best card in the set, Harpy Queen.
And then
Oh
Ryza.
Yeah, and Ryza.
Yeah, that's true.
Ryza, well known because of its interactions with Icarus attack.
I said this last time, and I want to say it again. But by far I feel for DM it made sense to talk about crazy things that lived. I think in GX it makes a little more sense to talk about terrible things that somehow saw play. And I think we all are aware of by far the worst card that was played the entire series.
Indomitable Fighter Lele, baby.
Lele is good. Chthonian Blast.
Chthonian Blast is Chthonian ass. You're right. You're
so bad.
It's
so bad.
Worst piece
so
of
bad. I hate that I have 3 and I play it every week and I go, oh, it's so bad, but I have to play it because it's a rule as well.
I think that Jerry Beans man seeing play for like 3 or 4 weeks was pretty impressive for sure. It was in the winner's deck more than any single other like terrible ass card, I think.
Oh, shout out to your history episode, by the way, seeing Hydro get in. That was awesome.
What did I tell you?
So hard with your Hydro get
you resolve Hydro get on once, you win the game. Great man once told me that one.
I'm actually surprised we never saw Hydro get banned, but it kind of flitted in and out of like playability based
Gavin
on what
was
else
like
was playable.
Kicking ass with it for a couple of weeks, and then once Snipe Hunter was banned, it was like, well, what are you profitably Hydro Get?
What are you killing? And then it dies to Glad Beasts.
Yeah. I think Hydro Get On could have come back this week.
It's possible for sure. It eats some battery men. Yeah.
It lines up so bad against D though.
Against
Yeah.
what?
It is really bad against D.
It just looks at your battery man D cell and cries.
Okay, so it beats up microcell and then they just go into D. And
Yeah,
you know, I
then
guess it does eat. I guess it does eat bestiari and like tapped playlays.
It's like, well, it was very funny because when Hydrogeddon came in, I played the Hydrogeddon Oxygeddon deck with Water Dragon, and turns out Hydrogeddon was the only good part of that.
That was when we were like, oh, that is true, because we all thought Hydrogeddon sucked, and then you were playing it for completely unrelated reasons, and we were like, wait.
Wait.
I think GX has been a fun experiment to see, like, in an alternate universe, this was what the game was like a vision of the game, and it's been fun, and I look forward to doing it again for 5Ds.
It's certainly been mixed. GX is an anomaly insofar as no other set is ever this weak for this long, right? And this was reflected in the TCG too. The decks that were powerful were largely held together by DM era staples with like a design mistake from GX, right? It would be like, okay, it's all these cards that were released in DM, and then Raise of the Storm Monarch, right? Like,
yeah,
or like a promo, like a
promo. Darkness,
and that didn't change until really Phantom Darkness. And I'm happy to say that 5Ds, Zexal, Arc V, Vrains from the get are infinitely more powerful than any of the GX stuff ever was. They're more competent. They're comprehensive archetypes, you know, and I'm really excited to try them out for sure. But I will miss, you know, and I know it wasn't for everyone, but I will miss this like low-powered style of gameplay where a lot of the time games were decided by like big number or like cards that in any competitive scene would get you laughed out of the event. It tickles me to no end that Lele was good from start to finish. I will miss this series.
DD Survivor. You'd summon DD Survivor, and you just won the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why. So I know that some people look at progression very differently, but that is ultimately why I like playing it. I love playing limited, and that's what a limited format is for, right? It's like the low power interactions that are still interesting and fun, but they have a very different feeling than, you know, trying to play something ruthlessly optimized and constructed.
Yeah. True. Speaking of, I know that the bans and the limited format have done wonders for us in terms of competitive equity. But if you're one of those people who says, Joseph, you should not be banning cards, so we could have watched the Lone Wolf Mirror week 1. Worry not, because this very Wednesday, June 30th, at my normal stream time of 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, we will be playing for charity the GX Era Finale, which will include such amazing hits as No Cards on the Ban List, I'm Playing Gladiator Beast, Danny with 3 Reza, Gavin with 15 Industrial Strength. Leah, did you ever pull a good card?
You're gonna catch me playing copies of Millennium Scorpion and
Chainsaw Insect, baby,
and Drillroid.
Drillroid's actually gonna matter. Wait, that was the rest of these have been bullshit, but
Grand Mole,
Brain Control,
D5.
I think only Leah pulled
Brain Control. Macro.
Yep, D5. Pain, suffering. That's all I know.
It'll be quite a circular format.
I'm playing fairies.
Oh yeah. You know what's actually going to suck in that format? I think it's Gladiator Beast.
Wrong.
Incorrect. Wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Big wrong.
That'd be really good.
All right.
Future Fusion coming back.
So spell trap removal is going to be bad.
And just so everyone knows, during the 24-hour stream, we did reach an incentive where my deck will be determined by my chat. So if you want to be part of the decision-making body that determines if I'm able to become the king of games for the second season. You can do that on Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/MBTYuGio. I believe to win the entire event, I have to win every game, including finals, and Gavin has to get sick and not show up. Is that correct?
I think so.
The standings are Leah, me, Brent, Leah with 13, me with 13, Brent with 11, Danny with 8, and you with 7.
All right, we're gunning for not last. Not last, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to fuck up Danny.
Yeah, oh, come on. You're aiming at me again, buddy. Come on.
It's the crab bucket, baby. I'm pulling you back down.